3.
And we are back, folks, here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at the big1050.com, and also live on our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter channels with a special edition of Steady Dropping Dimes, made possible because Daniel got out of Atlanta. And when Daniel left Atlanta, the Atlanta faithful said, okay, we got to do something. Now we can have some fun.
Money
Now we
showers.
get it in because Daniel Horton is no longer around. So we're going to have Magic City night at an Atlanta Hawks game. All
Money
because
showers.
Daniel say, hey, man, he squared it up for all of us. You know, it was all tame and all reserved because Daniel Horton's here. Now Daniel is gone. Let's let loose. Magic City night. Crazy. How you doing this morning, Daniel?
I'm doing good, man. Don't spread lies about me. My name is good at Magic, all right? My first year in Atlanta. Never mind, I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, man, my name was good at Magic. Don't do me like that.
Former
Money
McDonald's
showers.
All-American. Obviously made his mark on Michigan basketball that year. Should have went to the tournament that freshman year. Who knows how history would have been if they had been allowed to go. But it was a great debut, and obviously a really, really decorated career for my man Daniel Horton, who is now, his obviously off in the professional ranks, but his, I think, primary accomplishment, man, fatherhood, brother,
Yes,
fatherhood. So do we
yes,
have another? Do we have another Daniel Horton coming up?
yes, we do. We do.
Okay,
Daniel Horton II actually plays at Cedar Hill High School in Texas, same high school I went to. He's navigating his own path, and between him and my nephew, we got two kids coming through the grassroots system that have promising futures. So we're excited.
got you. Well, man, listen, it's fitting that we have you on this morning because we're coming off. You talk about atmospheric games. There wasn't any theme nights to the game last Saturday night in DC, but it was unbelievable, Daniel. I mean, I haven't ever witnessed a regular season Michigan game like that uh, from a from an atmosphere standpoint,
Hmm.
based on Michigan's participation. Yeah, I've seen other rock like the Mackey crowd.
All right.
People who were there. I had Alejandro Zuniga there. Zach Shaw was there. There were a bunch of national media there. And many of them said that was the most impressive regular season environment they'd ever seen. Right. So, but I'm talking about an environment that Michigan contributed to.
Mhm.
And this one, it wasn't just the Michigan fans from the DMV. Michigan fans came from the West Coast. They came from Texas, Atlanta, Chicago.
Yep.
They came in everywhere. It was like an NCAA tournament, not just an opening round game. It was like a Final Four game. I've never seen anything like it. Was so, not that I was okay with them losing,
Mhm.
but the experience of just seeing Michigan get out that big, that strong for basketball, man, it did something for the soul, man. I was like, oh, this is real. This is unbelievable.
Yep.
And so there you go. It set the stage for a game that, from a competitive standpoint, lived up to the billing. Even if Michigan's performance didn't, they obviously didn't perform to the level that they wanted to, Daniel.
No, I don't think they did, but I think what you touched on initially about the atmosphere, the crowd, the energy. That's what we've all who've participated in Michigan basketball before, who's whether it be a player or a fan or a coach. Well, that's what we've all dreamed of. What Michigan basketball could be, right? What we're capable of being. Not just top billing, but eventually, hopefully, this year end up winning a national championship like we did in 1989. So I think that's one thing, for us as Michigan alumni and Michigan fans, we that being in that moment, having that moment for the program and being in that spotlight based on their hard work and Dusty rejuvenating Coach May. Let me stop calling him Dusty. Coach May rejuvenating the program. Right. That's what we all dreamed of Michigan being. Right. But
Mhm.
getting to the game, it was a disappointing performance. I expected a little bit more, especially offensively from the guys, but it's like that sometimes, especially you go from playing in college specific arenas to an NBA arena. You're playing with a different ball, you're playing different backdrops, different depth perception. So, you know, for a team that hasn't shot the ball consistently well from three all year, those two things can kind of be those environmental factors can contribute a little bit to you not playing as well offensively. But I think we competed well. That's one thing I'm not disappointed. I think the guys competed well. I just didn't think we executed well. So, I'm pretty sure we'll get into that.
Yeah. So, Daniel, one of the things that you harped on early in the season, I want to shout you out for this. You talked about guard play.
Mhm.
You said guard play is going to tell the tale. It's going to dictate the direction. It's going to determine the ceiling of this team. And the 99% of this season, they've gotten good guard play from someone. Not always the same guy, but somebody stepped up to give them good guard contribution, right? This was the only game of the season where none of the guards played well, Daniel. I mean, not a single one of them. And while I give Duke some credit for that, it's like, man, it's hard for me to see a scenario where every single guy, Elliot Cadeau, Namari Burnett, Trey McKinney, LJ Kason, where all four of them struggle in the game. I just can't see that happening again, Daniel.
Yeah, I think the chances of that happening again are not good. They're slim to none. But it can happen again, Sam. I think the later you get into the season, the better and the better teams you play, the better backcourts they have, right? Duke, I think you do have to give Duke a lot of credit, especially Foster and Evans. Those guys have really good positional size. They're athletic. They have good basketball pedigree as well. So they're competitors as well. So you put those guys out there, and they kind of know Elliot Cadeau a little bit, right? He was in the conference with them for a year or 2 years, depending on which one you're talking about. So they know him. They played against him before, so that wasn't a new matchup. And so, with those guys being as talented as they are and accomplished as they are leading up to that moment, I think they might have had to actually have an advantage going into the game. But I thought we would be able to overcome that with our scheme and the position that Dusty puts those guys in. And to his defense, Coach May put those guys into his defense. Elliott got a lot of open shots that game. Whether it was by design with Duke letting them have those shots or by play design and at Michigan actually executing and getting the look they wanted and just not, converting it. So I don't think he'll shoot the ball that poorly if they play them again. But I think as a whole, our guards are going to have to play a lot better if we want to beat a team of Duke's caliber or Arizona or Houston or somebody of that caliber. We'll see as we progress towards the Final Four.
So, Daniel, I subscribe to this theory. Good looks are only good shots if you can make them, make a good
Yeah.
percentage of them, right? And so, case in point, Elliott had an open three in the corner late in the game, and he passed it up. It wound up being a better shot. Yaks knocked it down. But I remember when he first didn't shoot it, I'm like, man, he was open, but he was 0 for 5 at the time.
Yeah.
So him shooting that shot ain't a good shot. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I wonder what you think was the reason they weren't able to get to the rim, Daniel. And I'll get to a comment that Mike Boynton made,
Mhm.
but with your basketball eyes, I mean, Duke was able to. They had something, and even when Aday got back on the floor, I know he was managing his foul situation, but those dudes, they got some wide open drives to the basket or cuts to the basket too. Michigan wasn't able to manufacture the same sort of opportunities inside the arc. Why do you think that is or was?
It could be a number of different factors, but one thing I noticed about the game, it was extremely physical. And it was more of a late season NCAA tournament game or a late season Big Ten game. The physicality that the refs allowed to play, and some guys don't. That takes some getting used to. And with Duke, as talented as they are, and be allowed to play physical, those guys are gonna. They pride themselves on playing good defense as well. They've always had. So they always have. So I don't really want to try to make any excuses for why our guards couldn't get. I just want to give Duke credit. Say, hey, they defended well that night. They played a tough physical basketball game. And I think if we see them again, our guards are going to have to be a lot tougher and more determined with getting paint touches. Right? Like I'm not gonna wilt on the initial resistance from Duke's physicality on the perimeter. I'm gonna be tough enough to take one more dribble and get below the free throw line and get to where I want to get to try to collapse the defense and either get to the rim and convert or spray the ball and find an open teammate. I think if we can convert on some of those opportunities lead tonight as well, we're gonna have to do that tonight as well, Sam. But we'll talk about tonight's game. But as far as the Duke game goes, I think it's just a little bit of they lacked a little bit of toughness as far as being determined to get to where they want to get to on the floor.
So Mike Boynton said something after the game, and I appreciate Mike. Obviously, Dusty, um, Justin, and Keem, they are a very, very connected staff, introspective staff, accountable staff. Like they got done with that game, and the Guards shot a terrible percentage. Right, you could very easily pin the game on that. They said, Mike said, "Hey, we got out coached in that game. At the end of that game, they made better adjustments than we did.
Okay.
We came back, we looked at some things on film, and we're confident we found some things that we're going to be effective with moving forward." Now, he didn't say what those things were. He didn't say what they looked at and what they found, right? But I'm thinking it was how Duke was able to get leverage to the basket. And really, at the end of the game, I think it was like 4 or 5 possessions in a row they scored. It's like, and Michigan wasn't able to get as similar opportunities down the stretch. I suspect that's what he was talking about. I like that accountability from them. Like you said, I mean, it's you credit the opponent. And obviously, guys had a tough night shooting, but he said, "Man, there are things we could have done better as a coaching staff."
Yeah, I think that could have defensively, it could have probably put those guys in a little better position defensively, and so with some of those matchups. But I think at the same time, when you have guys, we did a lot of jumping around and putting ourselves out of position. I don't want to single guys out, but there are a couple guys defensively versus Duke, and it started early in the game. Overrunning passing lanes, overrunning closeouts, and allowed Evans to get downhill and basically get a straight line dunk at the rim. When he's a catch and shoot, he's mostly a shooter, Sam. So when you're giving straight line drives to shooters because we're putting ourselves out of position defensively just by gambling and taking unnecessary chances, I'm pretty sure they saw some things that they could address and change, if they were to see that team again that would, probably, bring a different outcome. Offensively, only they would know that, right? I'm not in the film room with them. I'm not in practice with them. And so I can only tell you what I see from their scheme and schematically from my understanding of basketball. But, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think they're very astute as coaches. I think they have a high IQ as a staff, and they do a lot of self-scouting. So I would put my money on them being a lot better prepared when they play Duke again as well.
All right, so listen, man, you obviously were a great player, a point guard at that. You coach now too. So I mean, put yourself sort of in both roles. I mean, you're a player that you can't throw it in the ocean from deep. Nothing's falling. And you're coaching yourself in that situation. What are some things you can do to help you be successful when your jumper isn't falling like that? What could you have done if it's Daniel Horton in that game and nothing is falling jump shot wise? What could you have done as a coach to help you out?
So one thing I teach my kids, one thing I prided myself on is not being a guy that played, not letting my jump shot affect the rest of my game, right? So for me, if I was having a game or if I was where I wasn't making a couple of shots, I would try to lock in a little bit more on defense and kind of lose myself in the defensive game plan. That way I can get out and get a steal, play the passing lane, still get an easy layup, uh, attack in transition, get to the free throw line. Same thing in the half court, right? We're in the set play, we kind of play within what we're doing, and take advantage of opportunities presented by the defense to attack and get to the free throw line and get an easy basket to try to get myself going, right? So, you know, it's one thing like guys who are one-dimensional guys, they're going to keep shooting that same shot because that's what they're working on, right? But like for a point guard, you should be able to get to the free throw line. You should be able to, draw contact on the perimeter just to get yourself to the free throw line. You see the ball go in twice, get basically two easy shots, see the ball go in, and now you kind of develop a rhythm from there. But you kind of have to simplify the game. If you're not making threes from now, so you're 0 for 5, 0 for 6, you have to try to get to the free throw line, get to the rim, make a play for somebody else.
Yeah, we're talking mostly about the guards here. But Derek Hampton on YouTube said they needed to attack Boozer with Merez. Boozer couldn't handle him. That actually dates back. Tim talked about this at the NBA camp. Merez, he's like, man, I got down on him at the NBA camp. Obviously, this is some time later.
Yeah.
But you saw he was confident going against him. It didn't always work out successfully. He should have fouled Boozer out. It should have been a foul call on Boozer. But might that have been something they could have exploited more in your eyes?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was initially a part of their game plan as well to go inside tomorrow against Boozer. Like you want to make Boozer play defense. He's a freshman at the end of the day. He might pick up a couple fouls early and end up sitting, and now their whole game plan changes. So when the guy has that much gravity on their team and affects what they do so much, you definitely want to make him play defense and make him play defense against a couple different looks, right? Not just against Amara, not just against Merez. You want to, if you have multiple guys that can play with their back to the basket and make him work and either score or get fouled and get to the free throw line, you definitely want to continue to go to that look just to consider he's their best player, right? So if we can get him out of the game or just wear him down by continuing to put him into actions, right? He's going to have to guard the post. He's going to have to guard ball screens. He's going to have to guard dribble handoffs. Keep putting him into action and work him. That way you wear him down a little bit. Maybe he's not as effective on the offensive end, right? So you just got to continue to attack him. That's one thing, in our era, if you were the best player on the team, we're going to come at you on offense as well. You're going to have to play defense too. So,
Yeah, man. I guess I'm really not that concerned about the coaching staff making adjustments. I'm not concerned about the guards being off like that. I think the adjustments will be made. I think you won't get guard play like that in any more contests this season. If there's one thing that I question about it getting better, is will Aday be able to manage his foul situation? It's in him because he got in the second half. Like, the first and third fouls were like, man, like the first foul when one of the talking points was coming out the Purdue game. Look, gotta stay on the floor, and then you pick up that first foul. Mike even made reference to that, and then he also highlighted though once you have 2 fouls and Dusty puts you back in the game in the first half, you can't put yourself in position to get that third foul that he got, even if you think it was bogus by the ref, to even make it questionable, even give him the opportunity to make that call is something you can't do with 2 fouls on you in the first half. So, but he gets in the second half, Daniel, and he plays 6, 7, 8 minutes. I don't know what it was before without picking up a foul. So it's in him. Can he do that consistently is the question against good teams?
I think he can, and that's why I think my concerns are kind of flipped from yours, right? I think it's more likely that we do have a performance like that from our guards versus elite competition than Mara being in foul trouble, right? I think he'll learn, and they'll put him in, different positions as a defender. I think you might even see some zone from Michigan depending on who we're playing moving forward, right? But I am worried about the guard play because we've seen this before. Early in the season, it was turnovers, right? Then started the conference play against the Wisconsin, Penn State. They had a lackadaisical performance. A couple other teams. We've seen some performances where the guard play kind of dipped and it caused us to struggle a little bit. I think we've been extremely consistent. We've been fortunate to have extremely consistent play from Mara, Morez, and Yaxel Lindeborg for this whole season, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Yax is kind of, I don't want to say the Purdue situation took a toll on him, but he could look like he kind of took the night off against Minnesota a little bit the other night, right? And so hopefully we get a little bit more juice from him moving forward. But I think I'm a little bit more worried about our guard play moving forward against elite competition, especially elite competition that has positional size at the guard spots like Duke had. So if they're gonna have to, we still have some hurdles to cross when it comes to that. I think we're not gonna get any taller on the perimeter. We're not gonna get any more athletic on the perimeter, but those guys can definitely compete a little bit more than what they did, against Duke. So
yeah, so I guess my thing as we get to this first break, the real test for me, as much as we focus on them shooting the basketball, right? Are they gonna be able to stay in front of their men when they're on defense?
Yeah.
How well do you guard tonight? How present are you on the boards tonight? On a night where your bigs are gonna be pulled away from the perimeter, well, on a night where there are gonna be some long rebounds, are your guards involved on the glass on both ends of the floor? Like, they got to guard tonight. They got to be on the glass. If they don't guard, I mean, Keaton Wagler goes off.
Yep.
If they aren't on the glass, they'll get out rebounded, maybe worse than they got out rebounded by Duke. Like, those two things are big keys to this game, Daniel, and the guards are central to that conversation because Aday and Morez might not be there to save the day tonight. So onus on those guards to do a really good job of on-ball defense.
Yeah, for sure. I think Illinois is going to present some unique challenges tonight with their, they have they'll have at times they'll have 2 7-footers and a 6'9" guy out there, right? And sometimes they might have 2 6'9" guys and 2 7-footers if they have the Evisis brothers out there at the same time. So they're going to present some unique challenges tonight, and we're going to have to be ready to defend and also attack the paint on offense and make those guys give multiple efforts on defense. So I'm pretty, like I said, we'll get into that, but man, I'm excited.
I'm super excited too, man. It's gonna be, I mean, it's especially if you were there you're already excited for the season, and you were there last Saturday in DC. Like, if anyone who was there to tell you, man, that was unbelievable atmosphere. Sucky part was obviously that Michigan lost, but even with the loss, you were like, man, it was great to be there. That's how it felt. And so you got me even more fired up for this game tonight. I think we're going to see a bounce back effort, but we'll dive deeper into Illinois and ask the question: how good are they? I said after the game, this better offensive team than the one Michigan just lost to. They being Duke, and I don't know if it was Duke fans who got offended, like, oh man, they just lost to UCLA. It wasn't because of offense, Daniel. That's how good are they really? This Illinois team, and beyond what we talked about, being on the glass with your guards, on-ball defense from that position, playing with some more toughness at that position. What are the overall keys to victory in a game where these dudes, they chomping at the bit because Morez is coming back. They're chomping at the bit because they blew a game. They were up 23 points in, gave Mick Cronin, Daniel's boy, something to be happy about, right? So, yeah, man, they ready to go. And Michigan, for whatever reason, Daniel, I mean, they can't get Illinois in the regular season. And I'm talking about over years and over coaches. Can't get Illinois in the regular season. We'll see if that ends tonight. We'll talk about the keys to how it can end when we come back on the other side. Before we do, I want to tell those of you who are do-it-yourselfers, your one-stop shop for all of your home improvement needs. Our friends at Chelsea Lumber, they have 3 locations to serve you in Chelsea, Saline, and Bridgewater. You can find them online at chelsealumber.com. And listen, folks, when you do, you'll find great products sold by great people. They offer great service. Chelsea Lumber is where the home begins. They are also where your door or window replacements begin as well. You might think specialty stores are the only places to go. If you don't go to a specialty store, then you got to go to a big box store. Well, what if I told you get the specialty store quality and service at not a box store, but a store that treats you like family, treats you like your worth when you walk through the door is greater than just a number. That's what you get at Chelsea Lumber. So, yes, the best doors and windows they'll sell you, but then they install them too. So when I say your one-stop shop, it's not just the tools you might need or the kitchen and bathroom renovations where their specialists are second to none. No, if you're sitting in your house and you got that breeze through your window or door, that draft through your door, and they need to be replaced, you don't need to look at some of those phone numbers that you see on the screen on television. Look no further than Chelsea Lumber with 3 locations to serve you in Chelsea, Saline, and Bridgewater. Find them online at chelsealumber.com. Back on the other side, more Steady Droppin Dimes here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTK, online at thebig1050.com.
Clear on radio.
All right. So Jimmy Whitner said some of my friends here in Chicago are saying Michigan is Illinois' rival. I said, I guess maybe from their perspective, Daniel, did you ever get that vibe when you played Illinois?
Oh, yeah. It's a rivalry in basketball.
But no, what he's saying is Michigan is to Illinois what Ohio State and Michigan are to each other. That's what Jimmy's saying.
No. That's our biggest rival in basketball is Michigan State. Like no, by far, no competitors, no question. Now, but Illinois is if I had to list the top 3 of Michigan rivals in basketball, Illinois is definitely in that top 3.
Yeah, I go Michigan State, and then Ohio State.
I would put Illinois above Ohio State in basketball.
What?
In basketball, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we got the final. They never got over the Final Four in '89. They still talk about it.
It's almost like we're having a repeat of what we talked about yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, the Fly and the Illini was supposed to win it all. They say. So no. We got a question that we can tackle here in the.
Yeah, I'll be.
Hey, look at Zeke. Look at Zeke. He said every home game in Atlanta is Magic City night. It's Atlanta. But when you call it Magic City night, Zeke, when you call it Magic City night, it takes what they do normally to another level. So I believe the Magic City All-Star is going to be showing up. I think it's like I think whatever they had in the back of the closet that they saved for when Drake and Cole and whoever else come to town. That's what they wearing tonight. Or what is it, the 16th, Miz?
March 16th, yep.
That's what they're wearing the Magic City night. I don't know how you have this at an NBA game.
Zeke, we need intel, bro. We need intel because I don't know if I'll be able to make it down for March 16th.
I would say Zeke would invite me, but then he'd just back out because
Oh, he's calling you out, Zeke.
He just back out. He just leave me hanging because that's how Zeke gets down. I'm just saying. Man, I love you, bro. I love you. You know that. You know this. We haven't hung in years, and you still my guy, even though got me chasing waterfalls over here, brother. I'm just saying, Zeke.
Don't bring, hey man. You see, I'm over here quiet. I ain't got nothing to say.
I'm just saying, But I love you, brother. I love you.
Oh, probably not allowed to go now. Is that? Oh, that's what it is now.
Hey,
Not you moving the goalpost, Zeke.
My wife she said, "Really, really?" Because she said first I was playing the Usher song, and if you haven't watched the Magic City documentary, and you don't know that this is, they launch songs in the club, not like the nightclub. They launch songs in the strip club. Like if it hit in the strip club, oh, that's
for sure.
I was playing one of Usher has like several of them that were made for the strip club, right? And I was playing one of them, and my wife she said, "Well, I can't hear you. The music's playing. I can't hear you." The music goes off. It's really. I mean, come on now. I didn't come up with the idea for Magic City Night. This was Jamie Gertz is part owner of her husband owns the okay, I shouldn't say her husband. They own the team, she and her husband. And she was the executive producer of the Magic City documentary. Jamie Gertz from Lost Boys. Jamie Gertz from Twister. Hey, these ladies, athletes, great business women. We should celebrate them. I watched her talking about it. And so I guess she was really serious when she said we should celebrate them. I thought she was just saying we should give them respect. I didn't know she was going to honor them at a Hawks game. Like, that's taking it to another level.
Listen, all I'm saying is this: you've got to have Lou Will at the game, just for that. You've got to have Lou Will there.
Oh my God, this can happen in no other city but Atlanta.
Hey, but Atlanta. What's the date on that again?
March 16th. So who all is in Atlanta? My man Chris Howard is still in Atlanta. Chris Singletary is in Atlanta.
Hey, that's spring break. I'll be at home in Atlanta for that week.
Friends. We just opened a restaurant. Shout out to Latoya Oglesby and her husband. They just opened a restaurant down there. I'm gonna get the name of the restaurant so I can shout it out here on the show so y'all can go out and check out the restaurant down in Atlanta, Michigan.
So wait, Danny, you said that spring break. Are you gonna give us in-depth, research on this Magic City night down there in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm on StubHub right now.
They only having it because Daniel left, so he can't go.
I'll be back. I'll be back for spring break. I'm going on StubHub. The whole family's going.
Yes, they said they're gonna have lemon pepper wings. They did say they will have lemon pepper wings at the game.
The whole family's going.
So that's a national flavor. That's a flavor right there.
Yeah, I had no idea that cuisine was a thing at the strip club.
Sam, they have a five-star Michelin chef at Magic City.
And I said earlier, hey, the founder of Magic City is a Dookie. He's a Duke grad. Got down to Atlanta and started he had a car service.
About to come back for break here in a moment.
And then he got into a club, and then he said, hey, we can take this club to another level.
5-star chef.
And what is it? 40 years in Magic City, 30 years in Magic City?
Yeah, pull up the menu.
I'll pull it up here in a second. We're coming back. Stand by, guys. Back in 5, 4, 3.
And we are back, folks. We are obviously going to go over the next hour. No bakes this morning. Kind of hard to transition from Magic City to Teddy's dad, right? You can't.
You could.
Can't juxtapose the two.
I mean,
that's kind of tough. Which is why I wonder how the Hawks are going to pull this off. This ought to be on Sports Center. What does it look like in an Atlanta Hawks game for Magic City night? This is going to be must-see TV. All right, let's get to the must-see TV around these parts, and that's Michigan versus Illinois tonight, Daniel Horton. And I said to you that I think this is a more talented offensive team than the one they just beat, one they just got beat by. And you made a comment. You said, "Oh, you're shortchanging Illinois about how good they are." So, how good is this team offensively, Daniel?
Yeah, they're one of the best offenses in the history of college basketball, right? I think the pace that they play at, and that's not just me saying that, right? The statistics bear that out, right? The way they shoot the three, the way they push the pace, the way they attack offensive rebounds, their offensive efficiency is one of the highest in the history of this sport. So I think they present some unique challenges. They're able to, like you mentioned earlier, their ability to crash the glass on offense and be one of, I think they're like the third leading offensive rebounding team in the country. The way they're able to, it's unique because they're able to crash the glass and get a lot of offensive rebounds, a high number. But by doing that and the way that they do it, they send 4 guys every time, which is unique because most teams send 3 at the most, right?
Right.
Illinois sends 4, sometimes 5, but they're wedging you underneath the rim as well. So by wedging you underneath the rim, they prevent you from getting out in transition if you do get the rebound. So it's a very unique strategy. Not a lot of teams employ that strategy. I think Illinois is uniquely able to do that because of their size and their length on throughout their roster. Right, their point guard is 6'5", 6'6", and sometimes they'll have a team out there that's bigger than the team we put out there, right? And we're lauded for our size and athleticism on our roster. So, they're gonna shoot a lot of threes as well. They pride themselves on trying to get two defenders on the ball and making the right reads and finding the open shooter. And it leads to them shooting a lot. They shoot a lot, but they only shoot 35%. So it's one of those things that they can have off nights as well. So I think if we go out and we defend at a high level and attack them in specific ways on offense, as far as getting paint touches, right? When you have a team with that size, at times they'll have a 6'6" guy, a 6'2", 6'9" guys, and 2 7-footers. You got to attack them off the dribble. You can't allow them to just, hey, one pass, we're going to contest and then block you out and go get the board. No, we have to make those big guys move their feet, make multiple efforts, guard multiple people on the defensive end. I think if we do that and get paint touches and kick the ball, we'll give ourselves a chance to win, right? But if
if you could do me a favor, see how many fast break points Michigan State had in that game. I'd be curious. Now, it's worthy of note. Illinois has lost 3 of the last 5. Michigan State got them.
Yep.
We obviously talk about UCLA got them after they were up 23. Wisconsin got them as well. It wasn't because they couldn't score, Daniel. Like, they could score, but I wonder what those teams did in transition. I wonder how those teams did on the glass. And this is why it's so key. Like, guards have got to be involved. They have got to. There was a sequence in the Duke game where I saw Namari. Hey, it wasn't just your traditional box out where he, got his back to his man boxing him out. Hey, Daniel, it was like he was blocking him in football. He put 2 forearms into him and blocked him. So I think usually Merez or Yaks got the rebound because Namari was boxing out like that. That needs to be 40 minutes. That needs to be 40 minutes tonight. That kind of attention on the glass.
Yeah.
They have gotten, and maybe it gets their running game going.
Yes, it will. You see that? You said Michigan State had 22 fast break points to Illinois 0. And that's one thing you have to, like I said, if you don't get out and run against those guys, it's going to be hard to get easy baskets against them, right? And so you have to try to force the tempo. And especially once you force the tempo, get paint touches. Spray the ball, make those guys close out and attack those closeouts of those 6'9", 6'11" European players, right? They're good offensive players, but I think they can be had on D. And if you watch the UCLA, I don't know if you saw the UCLA game, but I watched the UCLA game versus Illinois. And UCLA had a lot of success of, making multiple drives and getting into the paint and then finding a shooter. You have a Vicic who's 6'11", 7 feet, 7'1", I think, something like that. He has to help on the drive and then recover to a guy spaced at the 3-point line. That's not his strength, right? So we're able to put those guys in those type of situations, which Coach May is very good at putting his defenses in those situations. We can have some success. That's why I like our chances tonight.
Yeah, and the reason why I reference Michigan State, because they are the closest to, they force tempo like Michigan. Like, they running on makes and misses. They will press you to try to speed up tempo. They're going to do different things to try to force this, to try to speed you up. Speed themselves up too, but speed you up as well. And so I think that bodes well. 22-0, Michigan State winning the fast break battle. Now, of course, you got to do that at Illinois. I think we have an Illinois fan in the.
Where was that game played, Sam?
The Michigan State game was in
It was in East Lansing.
So you have to take that into account too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Sparty was able to kind of they're playing at home. They were able to kind of force the tempo and play the game at the way that they, impose their will on the game. That's going to be a little tougher challenge with us being on the road tonight.
So Daniel, I think we got an Illini fan in the room before we get to this last break of Steady Droppin Dimes, because we got somebody in here talking like it's 1989. I know the Illini thought after they came in on senior night I heard 3 Mills tell this story. They came in on senior night and ran Michigan out of Chrysler. Dan, you heard those guys talk about that? Ran them out of Chrysler. Kendall Gill, Marcus Liberty, Steve Bardo, Nick Anderson. Why do I know this team like they my team? It wasn't my team. I like they got their ass whooped in the Final Four. Got them. I'll never forget. That team wasn't able to live up to what they thought was their destiny because they were knocked out by the Michigan Wolverines, led by a guy from the city of Flint. So this guy, who must be an Illinois fan, Illinois by 20 plus tonight. I don't see a scenario where Michigan gets blown out by anybody. I'm not saying they can't lose, but blown out, bro. Where is that coming from?
And that stuff legal up there in the Midwest, ain't it?
I know it's in Illinois. It is because they are very openly dispensary heavy in the Shy. So
what have you seen?
Stop smoking the mids.
That Michigan is going to get. They couldn't guard. I mean, Wisconsin shot the blood out the ball, and Michigan played poorly and still only lost by 3. None of the guards could bust the grape against Duke. Aday played 18 minutes, and they still only lost by 5. What scenario can you put together that has them getting blown out in this game? Losing, and you say they lose, I'll listen to that. But blown out, I don't know how you can predict that.
These guys have shown the ability to defend, play hard, like compete at a high level. At an elite, not a high level, an elite level. I don't see them getting beat by 20 ever. That's
Sam, if you allow me to play one specific audio bed for our friendly Illini fan here, do me one solid here. In the words of Stephen A., stay off the weed.
I don't like citing Stephen A., but on that particular instance, I'm with it. We'll take one more break here of this special edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. We'll wrap it up with some viewer feedback. A lot of folks chiming in on this game tonight. It's going to be an epic contest. Just so happens to be going on at the same time as the Pistons taking on the Cavs. It's been a gauntlet week for the Pistons. They started out with the Spurs, took an L, but then faced OKC, beat OKC, and then they got the Cavs tonight. The James Harden, I guess it's not his team, but he's on the team now.
Yeah.
Different Cavs squad since he joined it. So some great basketball around here, but all eyes, as far as this crowd is concerned, on Michigan, Illinois. We'll get some of that viewer feedback on the other side. Wrap things up on Steady Droppin Dimes here on the Michigan Insider on the Big 1050 WTKA, online at thebig1050.com.
Clear on radio.
Hey, how have you Donovan Mitchell, right? How so you can't play with Darius Garland, but you can play with James Harden?
Well, you're gonna have to learn to do it.
I mean, look, I like Darius Garland, but Darius Garland ain't the beard, man.
No, he's a better tonight. Yeah, I'm talking about but the beard is more ball dominant though. I'm talking about as far as being able to like enjoy and play. Like you would think you would play like Darius Garland shoots a lot too, but he's more of a point guard than James Harden is. So I'm like, if you a guy that wants to shoot, you enjoy playing with. And I know the James Harden will take a lot of attention off of Donovan Mitchell, but like, man, y'all not gonna win that.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a great point. But I think if you're Donovan Mitchell, you have a conversation first with the front office before the deal is made. And then with James, when he gets here, it's like, hey, bro, guess what? guess whose team this is? Just so you know, let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
I mean, this deal was made because I said okay. We'd had that conversation off the rip. Because James Harden, it's a legitimate concern because what championship has James Harden won? Great player, not a champion.
Is he going to defend at a high enough level to like he's going to score and facilitate, but is he going to defend at a high enough level for you to win a championship?
Yeah, all great players aren't winners, aren't great winners.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he won his share of regular season games and even some NBA series, but finals? Nah. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Well, listen, folks, I want to let you know. I want to thank our great sponsors at Golden Limo. They make Steady Droppin Dimes possible. Sean Duvall and his great crew, that business that he started over there right here in Ann Arbor. They get you to your destination on time, every time, whether that's game day transport. Let's say you want to make it down to that Pistons games tonight, or you want to make it to Tigers games coming up, which I guess I'm more open to now that they actually made some moves that I respect as far as the pitching staff is concerned. I might want to get out to a game or two. You need to count on Golden to get you there. You don't have to worry about parking. Don't worry about the hassle of getting out because they'll be there to pick you up. That is the Golden Limo difference. And you never handle a bag. Your San Pellegrino is there waiting for you in a car. How do I know this, Daniel? How do I know about the San Pellegrino? I didn't know there was such a thing until I rode in Golden Limo. That's a true story. That is a true story. Because when you ride on Golden, you ride in style. You ride like the Wolverines. Michigan basketball rides on Golden. Michigan football rides on Golden. And you can too. Just go to goldenlimo.com. Whether you need individual transport in one of their SUVs, the Aviators or Navigators, maybe you need group transport in one of their Sprinters or party buses. They even have a trolley if you want to get in like that. And then if you have large group transport like these teams have, like Michigan football and basketball, you can ride in one of their luxury motor coaches. They have all of your transportation needs covered at whatever level. And of course, anywhere in the country, anywhere abroad, thanks to their great partnerships across the globe. That is the difference with Golden Limo. So if you need ground transportation, Southeastern Michigan, or anywhere you are, go to goldenlimo.com. And by the way, we're going to be setting some up. I got to send word up to Tom Wyrot. Tom Wyrot, he loves it. I call him the #1 SID. If that's what it takes for me to get Trey McKinney, the Golden Limo ambassador, the first Golden Limo basketball ambassador, because Golden Limo is a consistent and dedicated contributor to NIL. They were Will Johnson's first NIL partnership, Zeke Berry's NIL partnership, and now they ventured over into basketball. And the first NIL partnership at Michigan for Trey McKinney, Golden Limo. So we're going to get the Golden Limo ambassador, Trey McKinney, on the show. Flint, Michigan's own Trey McKinney. So
nice.
Hey, Tommy Wyrot, let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen.
Man.
We
T-Dub the Cadeau.
Oh, yeah. T-Dub him.
That's my mate.
Stand by, guys.
Look, Devin Gardner got this two straps thing.
Back on radio in 5, 4, 3.
And we are back, folks, here on a special edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. I want to thank Daniel for coming on. Drop of a hat in the morning. He's an hour before us. And, you know, normally we might slide in a Basketball Insider. Instead of doing Dropping Dimes last night, I had speaking engagement at the U of M Club of Greater Detroit. Great host, great time, really appreciate it. We weren't able to do Dimes last night, so it fit right in here in this segment. And great analysis from Daniel that he has given on this Illinois game. And so I wanted to get to some of the viewer feedback on the game, anxiously anticipating this contest. A lot of Michigan fans, Daniel. Steve Horn says Cadeau can get by Wagler. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. I think Elliott is an explosive ball player, especially when he puts his mind to it. He can get by pretty much anybody, right? And I think he can, if he lives in the more he lives in the paint tonight, the more success Michigan will have.
All right. J-Dubs 0284 says, I'm actually surprisingly confident for this game. Illinois doesn't have a lot of off-ball movement. They just want to shoot over people, switch everything, and make them shoot with contest and box out. What do you think of that strategy, Daniel?
It's great for contesting the shots, but for that second part, the boxing out part, if you do a lot of switching, that's where we'll put ourselves in trouble when it comes to giving up offensive rebounds. So I think we need to play as solid as possible and make those guys shoot contested threes. I agree, but we definitely need to keep like-size matchups to be able to keep them off the glass.
Yeah, Steve Horn says Steve Bardo, Marcus Liberty, Kendall Gill, Kenny Battle, and Nick Anderson. Nasty. Yes, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's what they are. Not winners. That's what they aren't winners. Not champions. They aren't champions. They don't have any of those accolades. I like to sort of remind Illinois fans of that. Moving on. Since we have Illinois fans in the house, let's be hospitable, right? Let's go on to the next one. Obi Ralph Kenobi. So, he was talking about all that Mary Jane. They must be smoking down in Illinois, thinking it's going to be a 20-plus point blowout after they just squandered a 23-point lead to UCLA. This is another thing. So they've lost 3 of their last 5. Michigan has played terribly in their 2 losses and lost by 3 and 5 respectively. Where in this scenario do we see a 20-plus point blowout? I mean, if it happens, I will certainly commend you for being Nostradamus, but I don't see how you predict that. If it happens, it happens. But to predict it based on what? I don't know. All right. Next
stay off those mids.
Stay off.
Next one comes from Jennifer Davis. Harden will be playing with a hurt finger tonight. We were talking about the Pistons-Cavs matchup. Pistons' best record in the NBA. They just knocked off OKC. They're still playing without Beef Stew. This team, man, my biggest question mark is, are they going to get anything at all? I mean, you trade for a 3-point shooter and he's not shooting 3. He's not even playing. Daniel, I mean, so what's are you going to get any extra any floor stretching beyond Duncan Robinson on this team consistently is the question, to me anyway.
Yeah. But I say they say that Donovan Mitchell is out and James Harden is playing. He might not play. He's playing. So
Donovan Mitchell is out.
Yeah, that's what somebody put in the chat.
Spider's out with a groin injury. James Harden's game time decision with the right injury.
That's weak. Game time decision.
I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of almost the same thing we had with the other night with the Thunder, where SGA was out and everyone else seemed to be out at the same time too.
Kids, we going to the movies tonight.
Right. Well, hey, listen. I want to see If we aren't seeing the beard, we aren't seeing Donovan Mitchell. At least let me see Kevin Huerter tonight. I want to see Kevin Huerter.
Red Velvet.
Something from him. Can we get something from him? All right. Let's go to the next one. Jennifer Davis, love the show, and we love you right back. We love you right back. Anthony Henfield, and still playing chess down there in Orlando. Great job, gents. Go Blue. Appreciate you. See, Devin Gardner will forever have an imprint on this show. And not because he ate White Castle before he came to my office, but because he came up with this 2-straps thing because I was wearing my backpack with 2 straps or 1 strap. I can't remember which one. What was the impetus or catalyst for it? But he said, waiting on Toomey or Samsonite to sponsor the show. Hashtag 2 straps. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I need a backpack.
TD Foster says, Daniel, will Illinois have Michigan's full attention tonight? We've had a few games where it seemed like we were sleepwalking through the first half.
Oh, for sure. I think Michigan is excited, just as excited and anticipating this game just as much as Illinois is. Maybe even more coming off the Duke game, right? And you saw a little bit of a lull against Minnesota after playing such a highly competitive game against Duke. But I think they are primed and ready for this game tonight.
All right. Ref 1084. Here's a good one, Daniel. Daniel, who would you put in the final four currently?
Ooh, that's a good one. Depending on how the brackets shake out, right? So that's always.
Well, who do you think are the 4 best teams?
The 4 best teams I've seen so far this year: Michigan, Arizona, Duke, And that fourth team is flip flop. I wanted to put Houston in there, but Houston's lost 3 games in a row here
Iowa
lately.
State.
Yeah, I would go Iowa State. I would most likely go Iowa State. They've
Yeah,
looked
I was
really
thinking
good
Iowa
this
State.
year. Yeah, Iowa State's really good. But
I
I
thought
always try.
Iowa
I'm
State
out.
went into Mackey earlier this year and got them, but I guess that's becoming commonplace now. Now Michigan State
Yeah,
went into
yeah,
Mackey and got it done. Like, oh
yeah.
man, here we go. I just talked about how, Michigan State is the worst of the top 5 teams, and
Mhm.
all they do is they go into Mackey and get it done, and they knock off Illinois. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, they asked me about that game yesterday on Jamie's show, and I was like, yeah, nah, man. I think Michigan State's gonna go down there and in their drought. For me, Sam, as skilled and as hard as they play, when I say they, I mean Braden Smith and Lawyer and the other kid on the perimeter at Purdue. They just lack a little bit of. I keep talking about this positional size and athleticism that teams are able to take advantage of when they play. Elite competition is able to take advantage of when they play him. Right? Braden Smith couldn't stay in front of Fears at all in the second half yesterday when Fears decided he wanted to put his head down and get to the rim. So that always comes back to bite you in the long run.
We had a question earlier. I should have put a star on it from earlier in the show. But someone asked, "Hey Daniel, who do you see at the top of the NBA draft this year?" I mean, it seemed like Darren Peterson was a no-brainer, and then he started having these issues where he can't either play or stay in games. And that might have depressed his stock a little bit. So who would be number 1 on your board?
I mean, by that, I like the Benson before all of this stuff happened anyway. So now that, whether it be cramps or mental fatigue or whatever character or personality issues he's having that has him in and out the lineup at Kansas, that makes me go with the Benson even more. So I've been the AJ guy from the beginning.
So man, what do you think? So there are 2 guys that I wonder where you think they're gonna fall. Keaton Wagler, number 1, who I mean, you a 40 spot, Daniel, a 40 spot as a freshman in the Big Ten. Like, man, that's big work. But the freshman I've been more impressed with, Cass Tech's own Darius Acuff, man. What do you think? Darius Acuff, I think that was, as much as it might have seemed like, yeah, that's too much money. This dude is living up to the hype. Like, he's worth every penny.
For sure. And I think that's going to be a tough discussion between Wagler, Acuff, and the Flemings kid at Houston, right? I think with those, what Wagler and Fleming have over Acuff is what I keep talking about, positional size, which is at a premium in today's game, right? And, it depends on how these draft picks fall. I think all 3 of them will be top 10, top 7 picks easy. Acuff might end up going before the other 2 just because of his pedigree. He's been one of the top dogs since high school, but the way Wagler shot up the recruiting boards, man, being a top 200, 300 kid coming out of high school and being defined by the guy that you're not a big Underwood guy, man. That's a huge, but that fine and him producing the way he's producing, that's a meteoric rise.
So you can take Kingston Flemings off of Houston. I think they're still a top 25 team. They are top 5 or whatever. But I still think they still top 25. I think if you take Keaton Wagler off of Illinois, I think they're still a top 25 team. You take Darius Acuff off of Arkansas, Daniel, they are not a top 25 team. Like, you talk about a guy making the guy,
for sure,
the catalyst. Like, you need me. I am the alpha, the omega, the apex. Running, like, he's that guy for them. And watching him be that as a freshman is increasing his value on a John Calipari team, has his value kind of boosted in my eyes.
Yeah, and I think Calipari did a great job. Him and his staff have done a great job of revamping their offense and playing the style of play that's conducive to a high IQ, highly skilled player like Darius Acuff coming through and doing what he's doing, because we still have a lot of high school coaches and a lot of coaches around the country still trying to run this dribble drive motion that Calipari made famous with generational talents. And so to see Calipari doing what he's doing now, man, putting and doing it with Acuff, like you said, a Detroit kid who's been one of the top dogs in his class since high school, man. He'll be the first point guard taken for sure.
Yeah, man. I was like, when he went to Arkansas and I heard about the price tag, and I was like, I get it. I was like, hey, Michigan get him, they get him in the portal. Like, hey, they get him next time around, right? Won't make it to the portal, Daniel. Only portal he'll make it to is walking down that portal to go meet Adam Silver.
Yes, sir.
He is going to the NBA.
Yes,
Derek Hampton said, hey, here's the crazy thing. We should have Christian Anderson and Acuff. Christian Anderson was actually committed, though.
Yep.
So
I went to see him play when he was in high school.
Yeah, he's been doing well at Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So give him a lot of credit. Do you agree with this from Steve Horn? He said, I would take Caleb Wilson over Boozer. Most people wouldn't, but I would. I mean, if you value upside, which the NBA does, you would think that more boards would have Caleb Wilson over Boozer, because I think Boozer he's your classic high floor, low ceiling guy. Like, his lack of athleticism is a limiting factor, but his basketball IQ is so high, his pedigree, I think, comes out in his game. Caleb Wilson is, you're not as refined a player, but you have more athletic upside with him.
Yep. He's I'm not gonna say that. Hey, Steve, nah, man. If you taking Caleb Wilson over Boozer is the type of decision that gets people fired for generations now.
Nah, bro. See, now we about to argue. Again.
The way the game is played now, I could point to Sengun down in Houston. I could point to Sabonis. I could point to Jokic. I could point to
Sengun.
No, I'm talking about you're taking that more athletic guy instead of taking the highly productive, highly skilled guy. I'm taking the highly productive, highly skilled guy, because the way the NBA works with the way Boozer will be utilized in the NBA, he'll be another one of these 20 and 10, 6, 7 assist guys. Like, you can't pass that up.
I bet you his career is he could be a good player. I just don't ever see Cam Boozer being great.
Nah, man.
He's marginally better than his dad. That's how I see him.
Nah.
I think Caleb Wilson has a chance to be a star, but he could also be a real bust. Like, there's no chance that Cam Boozer will be a bust.
I know these kids been playing against each other for the last 3, 4, not just this year, right?
Bro. Derek Hampton, no way.
I'm telling you, hey, I don't know if he's Tim Duncan.
What are we doing?
Nah, bro.
What are we doing?
I'm taking, and I like Caleb Wilson, but I'm taking Boozer 10 times out of 10.
Super high IQ guy. I think that his knowledge of the game, his ability, his multiple skill set, he can shoot it. He can play with his back to the basket. He's a plus passer. But man, I just think once you get to the NBA and you're facing guys that, hey man, they're professionals. Like, you aren't going to out pro these guys, on the good teams anyway. It's why I think that your best players, majority of them are on the athletic side, they're either going to be able to muscle you or jump over you. I don't think he's going to be able to do either consistently. I think he's going to win with his versatility and smarts. But there's nothing athletic about him that's going to win matchups for him, in my opinion.
And so Steve in the chat said Banchero he compared Boozer to Banchero, and Banchero's more athletic, and he said that Banchero's leveled off. He's leveled off at 22 and 9 this year, right? If you call that leveling off. Do you see Caleb Wilson being a 25 and 10, 23 and 10, 23 and 9 guy at the next level?
He could be, not out the gate. He won't be like his first year or two in the league. But do I see that kind of upside with Caleb Wilson? I remember when Caleb Wilson was a freshman. We were watching him at a
Really good kid, really good player.
IPL session, and I think we were in Louisville. I was like, man, this dude, he can shoot the three. He was putting it on the deck. He was finding his teammates. This is like his freshman year. Like, he has a versatile skill set with more athleticism, but his IQ right now isn't anywhere close to. It's not anywhere close to Cam Boozer. So he has more to learn. He has he has to be coached up more, and there's just no guarantee that that's going to happen, which is why Cam Boozer's the safer pick, but I don't know that I would be playing it safe. Like you say, it would get you fired. Now, Daniel, you remember the discussion we had in the aftermath of the Luka Doncic trade, and I called it the worst trade in the history of the NBA, and you tried to make it sound like it wasn't?
It wasn't. It still wasn't.
Come on, Daniel. Come on, man.
Sam, neither one. No, first of all, nobody can predict injuries, and I'm not just talking about Anthony Davis.
We can't predict
his injuries.
Davis.
But I'm talking about the other guys. I'm talking about the other guys the Mavericks have had injuries to. They also got Cooper Flag out of the situation. So
they lucked up on that.
No, ain't no luck. That's what happens when you trade guys away and you tank the rest of the year because somebody's hurt. They got Cooper Flag out of the situation.
It wasn't luck, then the Pistons are having right now.
And where are the Lakers right now?
I mean, they're a playoff team. They just came. Lakers.
They're a playoff, but are the Lakers any closer to winning a championship than they were 2 years ago?
I think they're closer, but that doesn't mean they're close.
No, exactly. So the Lakers are still in a position in purgatory when they want to be a championship organization, and the Mavericks but what I did say was they both have stars to build around for the future. The Mavs have Cooper Flag, and the Lakers have Luka Doncic. So we'll see.
I hate arguing with you because your credentials are so elite. And I was like, man, it's like, come on, bro. But you making this too easy.
Nah.
You say the Lakers are in purgatory when they have their post LeBron plan set now. You got a superstar who's now 26 years old, set to carry your franchise into the future after LeBron leaves. You didn't have
probably
that.
Never going to win a championship, Sam. He's probably never going to win a championship because of his habits. You have now the Mavericks are out from under that. And the $300 million that he's going to command, and now they have a young star that they're going to build around the right way.
Under a guy who took them to multiple conference finals and the NBA finals.
Just because you took them somewhere, that doesn't mean you're going to get. That doesn't mean you're going to get back there. That doesn't mean you have to. That just means you've done it in the. Okay, cool. He's done that. But the Mavericks were never close to winning an NBA championship in either one of those situations.
Okay, we off on a tangent. My point is,
the Mavericks are in good shape. They'll get Kyrie back. They got the best young player in the league besides Wemby. They'll be fine.
They lucked up on Cooper Flag.
They got the pick as part. That's part of the trade. They
gotta win the lottery. You gotta win the lottery. That's luck.
And to win the lottery, you get more draft balls by not being good.
When you trade away your best players, this is what have Victor Wembanyama right now. They had the worst record in the NBA, the most balls in there, and they got the worst possible pick out of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the fifth? Alcera was the fifth pick, right, Miz? Mm-hmm. They got the worst pick out of the deal. Yeah. So come on, man, it was luck.
Sam, if the Mavericks kept Luka, they'd be in basketball purgatory right now. They'd be just good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to win the championship.
So you guys on the morning show hear how we get down on dropping dimes. Daniel, he mosses me with his basketball credentials. McDonald's All-American, Big Ten Freshman of the Year. 4-year starter at the University of Michigan. I can't compete with any of that. So then he throws out these ideas that he could just say because he's Daniel Horton. And then I come with what I say, which makes more sense. But he's Daniel Horton.
All right, listen to this, Sam. So somebody put in the chat that they have mock draft A-Cuff to Dallas. Now, what if part of all of this leads to another bag and they end up getting A cuff in the mix as well.
Well, let's be clear. Nico's
He's gone.
perspective on this trap, he's not there anymore, but he was like, we're going to trade for AD. He's going to improve our defense, and it's going to get us closer to a championship. So everything you're talking about still is luck.
So that part of the plan didn't work out because AD got injured, right? So we understand. Okay, I'll give you that. But even still, I still make the trade, Sam, because you're not gonna win with Luka. And I preface this by saying I live in Dallas, but I'm a Laker fan. So I'm not saying this as some guy I'm a Laker fan, and I hate that we traded. I'm not gonna say that. I don't think the trade makes us any closer to being NBA champions than we were before we traded for him. So,
all right, let's get back to Michigan. You
yeah.
pulled me away, with this because I was getting to the questions. I wanted to get to the questions. We love so much participation, so many people, so many dimes, regulars on the show this morning. I can't get to all your comments. They just been flooding in. Scott Henry, I want to get this comment in. He says, Duke, Minnesota, more physical defense than 5 years trying to watch bring your beach chair defense in the NBA. I'm not quite sure where he was going with that, but I think it's commentary on how Michigan fared against those two teams. The last two games out, both seem to kind of make Michigan grind it out. Daniel, I don't see the same kind of issue in this game. I do think the length is going to be challenging, but I am much more concerned with Michigan on the defensive end of the floor than I am the offensive end of the floor.
Think so? So I think for me, I am. I'm more concerned with how we're going to guard them. I'm interested to see if Illinois will employ a little bit of a zone defense at times, just because I don't know. I'm curious to see if they'll be able to stay and keep the ball in front, keep Elliott and a guy like Roddy Gale who can put his shoulders on people and has a really good first step. Yak. So if they're able to keep those guys in front of them enough to continue to just play straight man to man the whole game, they might try to throw a little 3/4 court pressure in there, or maybe a little half court. So I'm interested to see if they're going to just play straight man to man, or if they're going to try to, throw some wrinkles in there to keep us off balance. But if they just allow us to just, blast the ball at them, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, I want to see. I don't want to see Michigan in a position to have to overcome their weaknesses. But if they are in that position, I want to see how effectively they do that. Mm-hmm. And that not just by virtue of some other guy. Hey, Elliott is off tonight, so LJ balls out. Namari can't shoot tonight, so Trey is hitting shots. Not like that. I mean, look, none of your strengths are working. That's the Duke game. Aday is in foul trouble. Mm-hmm. Now Yaks can't get downhill, so he takes 9 threes. None of your guards do anything. Like, all of your strengths are mitigated in this game. Can you overcome your weaknesses in those moments? Michigan in every other game, sans Wisconsin, but I don't really count that one because they shot unbelievably. They've been able to overcome their weaknesses. They've been able to find a way. You listen to Dusty press conferences, how many times this season they said, I love that we found another way to win a game. Mm-hmm. Well, they couldn't find that way against Duke. I want to see how they react if they're in that situation tonight where offensively they can't get it going, or even defensively, like what adjustment. But I'm more interested in the offensive adjustment that they make, because I think that's the one coming off the last game. I think the defensive plans, what you got to do with this team defensively is obvious. Yeah. I want to see what they do if they can't shoot tonight, if Yaks isn't on.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, like you said, like finding multiple ways to win against teams that you're clearly better than or more talented than. You can. That's good thing. That's good, right? That's good to have in your bank reserves to be able to tap into once you play against better competition. But let's see, like you said, I'm interested to see, can we find different ways to win against elite competition? And that's going to, like you say, it's not going to look the same every time. And so versus Duke, versus Illinois, we did it against on the road at Michigan State. We ended up winning by double figures. So, like, can we continue to do that? And if they can, and they'll have opportunities to build that part of their armor, that part of their game up versus elite competition over the next couple of weeks with, Illinois, Michigan State at home, Big Ten tournament before we get to the tournament and get down the line, Sam. So it's still learning. They're still learning things about themselves that's going to benefit them once the tournament gets here.
Daniel, I love you. I respect you. I defer to your basketball knowledge. Some of the stuff you say, though, I'd be like, man, woo, woo, Daniel been smoking some stuff. He been smoking. I never let you off the hook for that Luka Doncic take, man.
Oh man, I'm telling you. You keep talking. You want to say they won the trade, but neither team is in a position to do the reason why they made the trade. Neither one is in position to do what they wanted to do. So I don't really look at it like it's been a winner yet. Like it's not a winner or a loser yet.
I love my man Daniel Horton. Love you, brother.
and I'm a Laker fan, bro. And I watched the Lakers and watched Luka. Like, man, you should have kept that in Dallas. Like,
all right, last one for you, Daniel. Jimmy Whitner wants to know, and I'm gonna have you pick a winner tonight. But Jimmy Whitner wants to know. He says, Daniel, in your opinion, who is the most improved / surprising player for Michigan this season?
Most improved player for Michigan this season is going man. So if you look at the last 3 or 4 games, you would think LJ Kaysen, right? Because he's played really well coming off the bench. But as a whole, just from how they looked last year, no matter where they played, to how they look this year, I'm going with big Aday Mara, man. That kid has made huge strides from what we saw last year at UCLA to how he's performing now. So I'm gonna go with Big Mara.
Okay. And then who you got tonight, Daniel? Who wins the game?
Man, my heart says Michigan, right? I think we're gonna have a play much better than we played against Duke. But it's on the road, Illinois, man. It's a top 10 matchup. Well, I'm going with the Wolverines. I don't know if I could ever pick against my Wolverines. I go with the Wolverines. We'll pull out a 5-6 point victory on the road. 5 or 6 point victory on the road.
I got you. Well, Daniel, as always, we appreciate you on Dropping Dimes. Another great episode. I'm going to try to get Trey for the next one. So be on the lookout for that. We have a few guests as we round out this season of Dropping Dimes, where we have a handful of episodes left. So be on the lookout for the guest list. Be very basketball centric, with Michigan making a run towards what I think will be a national championship.
Yes, sir.
Definitely the Final Four. So looking forward to having some great guests along on that ride with Daniel and I. And Wheat, I've been talking to all the different guys, man. Wheat adjusting well. And, I wonder what hat he's gonna be wearing tonight. Come on, Wheat. It's not football. It's not football, Wheat. I know you still watch Dimes. So,
man, I know it's hat he better be wearing, Coach Wheat.
Yeah, come on.
Come back on this show.
You can't get down there. They paying your check for football games, not for basketball.
Not for basketball.
So let's go. Checked in with Lamar down at Oklahoma, BJ over at Notre Dame. Guys adjusting well, man. So it's good to see guys land on their feet. But anyway,
yes, sir.
That's going to do it for us on this edition of Steady Droppin Dimes. We'll see you next time, folks. And